Samsung might still be getting One UI 9.0 out the door, but the next big mid-cycle update is already stepping into the spotlight. The new One UI 9.5 leak is giving us an early preview of what Samsung could be preparing, and honestly, this looks less like a tiny maintenance update and more like a serious visual cleanup. We're talking smoother movement across the home screen, a refreshed camera interface, a redesigned fingerprint prompt, new search tools, and even built-in app mirroring for Windows. And that's actually huge, because these are the kinds of changes you notice every single time you unlock your phone. Now, before we get too carried away, let's set expectations. None of this has been officially announced by Samsung, and features found in an early build aren't automatically guaranteed for the finished update. But the details that have surfaced so far paint a pretty clear picture. Samsung appears to be chasing a more polished, more cohesive Galaxy experience. So let me break down what's reportedly in One UI 9.5, what it could mean for current Galaxy owners, and when we might realistically see it arrive. First up, the animations. This is one of those things that can sound minor in a changelog, but it makes a massive difference in real-world use. According to the leak, the One UI 9.5 makes motion around the home screen feel more fluid right from the start. That means this may not be a feature you have to dig through Good Lock to enable. For anyone unfamiliar, Good Lock is Samsung's customization suite, and its Home Up module has been a popular way for power users to tweak home screen behavior. But if Samsung is making these transitions smoother by default, everybody benefits, whether they've customized every icon or never opened a settings menu in their life. And here's the thing. Smooth animation isn't just about making a phone look fancy. It changes how responsive a device feels. When apps open, windows close, and pages slide around with less visual friction, the entire interface feels more immediate. Your phone can have fast hardware, but if the software movement is awkward or abrupt, it can still feel less refined than it should. So if this leak holds up, One UI 9.5 could bring a noticeable quality boost without asking users to learn a whole new interface. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. The camera app also appears to be getting a design pass. In the current setup, tapping a fast camera control can pull up options in a way that takes attention away from the scene you're trying to capture. The leaked version reportedly puts those extra controls in a layer directly over the viewfinder instead. That sounds like a small adjustment, but it keeps your subject visible while you're changing camera settings. If you're quickly switching modes or adjusting an option before a shot disappears, that could be a much more natural way to work. The visual treatment inside the camera app seems different too. The quick controls and related menus are said to sit inside circular shapes, giving those options more separation and making them easier to identify at a glance. Some controls also reportedly get a gold-toned accent. Now, whether that exact color survives until release is impossible to know. But the bigger takeaway is that Samsung seems to be refining the visual language across the system. It's not just changing buttons for the sake of it. It looks like the company wants menus, controls, and surfaces to feel more deliberate. That broader design direction lines up with earlier One UI 9.5 reports. We've already heard about glass-inspired touches, plus additional shading behind buttons and widgets. So think about it this way. Samsung may be building more depth into One UI without completely reinventing it. There's a fine line here. Too much transparency or too many effects can become distracting, but subtle layers and backdrop shading can make an interface easier to read and feel less flat. If Samsung gets that balance right, the One UI 9.5 could make Galaxy phones look more modern while still feeling familiar. Another reported change is the fingerprint interface. It's part of a wider wave of visual polish, and it's the kind of area that gets used constantly but rarely gets attention in update announcements. Every unlock is a tiny interaction, so improving that screen can quietly improve the daily experience. Building on that idea, it seems Samsung isn't only targeting the flashy places like the home screen or camera. It may be cleaning up the small moments too, and those are often what make software feel truly finished. Now zoom out for a second, because the home screen itself could gain something useful: Finder and Google search bars. These tools first appeared on the Galaxy Z Flip 8, Galaxy Z Fold 8, and Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. and the One UI 9.5 build for the Galaxy S26 series suggests they could reach older Galaxy devices through the update. That's a welcome possibility. Having Samsung's Finder and Google Search sitting right on the home screen gives users quicker access to both device-level searching and web searching, without turning it into a complicated setup. But my favorite part of this leak might be the reported native app mirroring feature. The idea is simple. Open and mirror a Galaxy phone app on a Windows laptop, as long as both devices are logged into the same Samsung account. And that's actually huge for people who split their day between a phone and a PC. You could keep an app accessible on your laptop without constantly reaching for your phone. The important detail is that this is being described as a native One UI feature, which suggests Samsung may be trying to make cross-device workflows feel more integrated. Then there's App Lock, which surfaced in earlier One UI 9.5 information. This is another feature that feels overdue, because it addresses a very practical need, keeping specific apps behind an extra layer of privacy. Combine that with app mirroring, smoother system motion, and the interface revisions, and the One UI 9.5 starts to look like an update focused on both appearance and everyday convenience. Not every improvement needs to be dramatic. Sometimes the best updates are the ones that remove little annoyances you've stopped noticing. So when could this actually launch? Samsung hasn't provided a date, which means everything here is still informed expectation rather than confirmation. But there is a precedent. One UI 8.5 followed a pattern where a beta arrived for the Galaxy S25 lineup before the stable version debuted alongside the Galaxy S26 family in early 2026. If Samsung repeats that approach, then the One UI 9.5 testing could begin later this year, with the stable release potentially arriving with the Galaxy S27 series early next year. Eligibility is a little less straightforward than it used to be though. Normally, a phone receiving the main One UI 9 release would be a strong candidate for 9.5 as well. Samsung historically treated these point updates as extensions of the same software generation, but One UI 8.5 changed that pattern. Although One UI 8 and 8.5 were both tied to Android 16, they weren't built from the exact same base. As a result, devices nearing the end of their update support, including the Galaxy S22, received One UI 8 but missed One UI 8.5. We don't yet know whether One UI 9.5 will follow that same rule. So, bottom line, take every individual leak with the right amount of caution, but the overall direction is exciting. One UI 9.5 could be Samsung's next major polish update, bringing smoother motion, smarter camera controls, fresh visual depth, better searching, app lock, and tighter Windows integration. If even most of these features make the final cut, Galaxy users have a lot to look forward to after One UI 9.0. Drop a comment with the One UI 9.5 feature you want most, and subscribe for more Galaxy update news as soon as the next leak lands.